Hello, welcome to part 2 of creating an FPS shooter within Unity. We did quite well in part 1. Might be slowing up a little bit in part 2 because we're trying to sort out those bits and pieces with our enemy script. So what we want to do today is, at the moment we have a radius around our enemy, as we can see here. We want that radius still to exist. But once our enemy is provoked, we want him still to chase us. And what we're going to do is write loads of different methods. So, and then we can put them one under each other, one after each other within our enemy AI script. And what this will allow us to do is essentially, if you wanted to add something when the enemy is chasing us, like a sound or something else, you can, or an animation. With the enemies attacking us, we can then start up something there. So you might think, oh, there's a lot of script here, but it gives you opportunity to customize and really be open with the way that your enemy reacts with you. So what I'm going to do is, where are we here? Do scripts, enemy AI. Let's open up our enemy AI script. Lovely, fantastic. So let me just get my bearings where we were. For part 1, lovely. So he was following us and we drew the gizmos right at the end of that session. Fantastic. So we need to provoke our enemy, and then we can do something when he chases us, and he can then do something if he attacks us, and then to check that we'll write a debug right at the end of that method. So what we can do is, let's put that down here, and we can say private bool and let's call this is provoked, and we'll start this off at false because he won't start off kicking off at us. Lovely, cool. So from there, let's have a look at our update method. Lovely. So if we write if is provoked, we can say let's create our first method of engage target. So what will happen when he engages the target? And you'll get a red line because it's a new method that we haven't written yet. And that's absolutely fine. Then what we can say, if he isn't engaged, else if is not engaged, we can say the chase radius, he won't chase us anymore. So what we can do is we can take this, we can command cut this, delete that if statement, and just here, if we paste that, that will work as well. Okay, so if he is provoked, he will engage us. If not engaged, he will lose sight of us. Fantastic, cool. So once we've done that, I'm pretty happy with that. That looks good. Let's write our let's create our engage target so we don't have that horrible red line. Let's put that up there. So let's call this private void, and let's call this was engage target, wasn't it? Engage target. Cool, lovely. So once our target is engaged, he is going to chase us, so we can write a new method for chase target. And this is where you'll see, you'll be like, oh, okay, I can write different things under under each script. And yet you'll be 100% right about that. So what we can do here is we can let's actually get rid of that for now. We don't need that just yet. And ideally we need our distance to target before he engages us. So if we say if distance to target is greater or equal to our agent's stopping distance, so this is something built within our nav mesh, we can say chase target. Cool, lovely. Then If not, we can say if distance to target is less than or equal to the agent stopping distance, we can say attack target. So it might seem really, really confusing, but I'm just giving you options of what we can do and where we can add all these different bits. So you'll have a choice for when our target is, when our enemy is chasing us, when our enemy is attacking us, and when he initially engages. This really opens up the script for you, where you can add in all your little bits just under these methods. So you could search on scripting API, how can I do this? There it is, add that with your variable underneath that method, easy as that. So that could be sound, it could be animation, it could be a different trigger, it could trigger other enemies, whatever you like. So what we're going to do with chase target, let's create it first. So private void chase target. What we need to do is add in our set destination. So if we say, we can probably that means, do we need that there? Something. Oh yeah, I see where we can go. So we can cut this, and we can just say is provoked equals true here, and then we can put paste agent.setDestination.target into there. Then after we've got our chase target, we've got our attack target. So this will prove if our script is correct. So once we've done this, we can say, oh dear, where am I going now? So private void attack target, let's write a debug for this. So debug .log, and we can say name plus has found and attacking, we can say plus target name. So if this doesn't appear, we know that we've gone wrong somewhere within our script. So this should all follow along. So if let's have a look. So if we save this, last thing we're going to do is go to our nav mesh agent on our enemy, and we're going to make sure stopping distance is at 1. So if he goes through us, if it's at 0, it could not make the debug spawn because he's got too close. He'll be literally inside our capsule. So and it needs to be a stopping distance of around us, not inside us. So if we put 1 on stopping distance before he gets to us, and we press play, there we go, run it. Oh, there we go, kind of a bit slow. Walking through, let's trigger him. There we go. Is he going to send us a message? Yep, there he is. Enemy has found an attacking player. Fantastic. That's what we are looking for. Awesome, brilliant. So what we can do is we can get rid of this, and what we need to do next is we can set up our player with their item or their gun. So I have downloaded hang on, I've got it on Google. So I've downloaded this PBR sci-fi gun. Looks really cool. It was free. Downloaded it from Unity Store. Just needed something as a gun. This works for me. So what I'm going to do is on my player, on main camera, I'm going to create a new empty. That will drop down there, and I'm going to call this weapons. because we're going to have multiple weapons in this game, hopefully. And then in weapons, I'm going to add my gun. Let's make weapon. Yeah, that's all zeroed out. Lovely, that's all zeroed out as well. So let's find this. If we have two views, it'd be really good and really good to help us see this. So I'm facing the Z-axis, so I need to rotate this. So let's go -90. And probably need to size this down as well. If we put this just at 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, this will be different for everybody else's items or weapons that they pick. Lovely. Let's have a look where that going now. Not looking too bad. Let's drop that down like that. Cool. I might have to change this a little bit. I might put this down. Ooh, do I want to size it down more? So here we can see in our, we've got some layer clipping where we pull this out like that. It kind of works, but I could kind of want it maybe more a little bit more back, maybe a bit like that. How big is my player to my gun? It's not too bad actually. So as you can see here, we've got a little bit of clipping. So if I go into my main camera and look at clipping planes, I can then change this. Whoa, there we go. There we go. Just to make sure. Just over there. There we go. That's looking good. So if I press play, let's just have a look at how this is. Would I want to rotate it at all? Come on, work for me. It's okay. It's not too bad. There's some jittering. We need to sort those bits out, and I keep forgetting about that jittering. So yeah, as you can see, we've got this weird shakiness. If you're getting this, let's have a look at this. I think this is in the main camera. So let's quickly look at its head bob. Let's turn that off. That's not really doing much for me. Back into our game. Are we jittering? Seems to be okay. I'm quite happy with that. Cool. I might put my gun a little bit more. Might rotate it just a tad. It looks a bit too, doesn't look quite centered enough there. So let's have a look at the rotation. Let's have a look at this. Make sure we're actually on our gun. Rotation, and then that looks a bit better. Awesome. So I'm going to leave that like that. Next thing I'm going to do is, oh yeah, what you can do is, well, on your player, if we go to overrides, we can see everything that we've changed. So we turned off head bob, moved the camera, and also moved weapons. So what we're going to do is click apply all, and that will update our prefab. So let's not forget to do that. Then we need to have a look at the UI. Let's see if we can get like a dot in the middle for our UI. So what we're going to do, easiest way to do that is create a new empty, make sure it's zeroed off, and we're going to rename this UI. What we're then going to do on UI, we're going to right click, go to UI and go to image. Lovely, and then under, as you can see, it's centered that straight off, and that looks quite good actually. Then on image, we are going to rename this to crosshair, and let's try and find an image. Oh, why did that? Good, helpful. Let's bring this over here to select a sprite that could help us. Oh, there we go. That looks good. Fantastic, cool. That must have been already in the standard assets. So it's 100 width, and let's size that down. Let's look at 0.5 and 0.5. Oh, that's probably like, let's change that to 50 and 50. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Cool, let's play our game. Let's check this out. Cool, that's looking pretty good. So if that's in the center of our games. Lovely. So then we'll get our chasing sorted out. Fantastic. Cool. Ooh, let's try and escape from him. At least that message is still popping up. So he is pushing me against all of these edges at the moment that are very, very tight and I can't escape from. So I've also got a little bit of clipping there. So let's have a quick look at fixing that, because we keep every time, even if I just play our game, even without our enemy, every time we move, so let's move over to here and I hit that, I'm sort of stopping and I'm sticking against that wall. So if so sticking against all these different things. Look here, sticking and I'm moving. Am I even moving? Very slowly. So we don't want that. So let's quickly fix this. Assets. Let's create a new folder and we'll call this physics materials. Double click that and then create a physic material. Let's call this slippery. And then we want 0, 0, 0. And then on friction, we want minimum. And then on our player, under our capsule collider, let's drag that missing material. Let's see if this just sorts us out a little bit more. If we can slip past objects. So this was the wall we had a problem with. That's way better. Fantastic. Cool. Yep. Awesome. Slipping past objects that we don't need them. Awesome. So that makes it really quicker to run past him now as he keeps chasing us. Lovely. He should still keep chasing us. There he is. Lovely. Fantastic. Cool. Awesome. So we fixed those little jittery bugs as well. Cool. So what we'll do in the next session is we'll look at raycasting and get our shooting working with our gun. Cool. See you then.